feel like you can kind of get into disordered eating with all of these labels no matter what your diet is. I wanted to share with you how I used to be vegan, I think around like 5 years, and how I've gone from that to now eating animal products again, and just what that journey has been like for me and why I didn't feel it was serving me anymore to be vegan. I'm also getting ready for my anniversary dinner. It's our 7-year wedding anniversary. I went vegan around 19 years old. I just moved out of my mom's house with a friend who I met in beauty school. She was vegetarian. I read the book Skinny Bitch that she had recommended and just went down the whole path of watching documentaries, and I'm just like such a huge animal lover that it really called to me and spoke to me, and I felt so emotionally charged by it all that I became such a hardcore vegan for many years after that. It was something I was so passionate about, and I didn't eat healthy prior to that. I ate the standard American diet, not anything healthy, and so I thought I was making healthier choices as a vegan. And I was probably eating healthier at that time as a vegan than I was prior to that, just because my diet was so highly processed, and my vegan diet still was. It was probably a little better than the diet prior to that. I just end up as a vegan a lot, or vegetarians can just overdo it on carbs and not eat enough protein. And I think everyone's totally different. I'm not saying you can't be vegan and be healthy. You can be super plant-based and eat tons of plants and still eat healthy vegetarian vegan sources of protein and stuff. So it can be done so much better, but I was young and I ate junk food. So as long as it was vegan, it was like, yay, like Oreos are vegan, soda's vegan. I wasn't eating healthfully, and I was super passionate and into it for so many years, and then just started feeling deprived. I felt like I wasn't enjoying the food I was eating, and it was just not feeling as much like a choice anymore as pressure, because being vegan, it's like very kind of culty vibes, and you end up eating people that are hardcore, and you can start to feel the pressure to be this perfect vegan. For me, it started to become for other people and not even for myself anymore, keeping up the title. I just realized I wasn't enjoying it anymore. We were vacationing in Hawaii. We would go every year. I started eating like when we were there, or I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna order pancakes for breakfast because it sounds really good, but I know they're not vegan. Just kind of was a slippery slope from there to the point where I was just like, okay, I'm not vegan anymore because I'm wanting to eat this other food and I'm eating it, so I'm not following a vegan diet. It was really hard for me because it became an identity. It can lead people to a form of disordered eating. I think be a slippery slope for people that already have issues with food. So I don't think it was healthy for me at that point. I'm glad that I finally just realized that it wasn't for me anymore and decided to make that switch, but I just kind of did it lightly because I was so scared of what other people thought of me, and getting out of that was such a big deal. I'm just so glad to be free of that, and that's why I really love to not label my diet in any way. I focus on eating real food, real ingredients, whole foods. That's what I focus on, but I'm not gluten-free, dairy-free, anything like that. I eat in a way that feels best for me, and I'm always adjusting based on how things are feeling in my body. I just want to talk about this because I think it's an important thing to share. I feel like you can kind of get into disordered eating with all of these labels no matter what your diet is. Having labels, I found a lot of people struggle to just do all or nothing, so they follow these really strict diets, they go really hardcore, and they can't keep it up because it's not sustainable for them and what they enjoy, and so they go hardcore diet and then they hardcore binge. It's just a really toxic pattern to be in. I really want to be a positive voice in this space and just tell people we don't need labels. Like, just need to follow what truly makes us feel good, because for a minute eating something really sugary that isn't going to make you feel good might feel good in that moment, but then it ends up hurting your stomach, or you don't feel good, or you feel anxious, or this and that. So that's not ultimately fueling you and making you feel your best. So I think just focusing on how things make you feel is such a better approach, and that allows you to get really in tune with your body and really in touch with how things affect you, how foods affect you, and not make it so controlling, so full of labels. I think especially as women, we can get really easily down a path of controlling eating and yo-yo dieting. That is just a common pattern I see. I think there's times where certain protocols can be really helpful and necessary to overcome certain symptoms if you're like really detoxing, but I think that you should be working with a professional and make sure that that's the right route for you. But I think in general, anything too strict and too hardcore is not sustainable, nor is it actually benefiting you if it feels feels too restrictive. You don't have to do all or nothing. The approach that I do now has worked so well for me because it's not an all or nothing approach. I enjoy food. Food is such a joy-based thing, and that was something when I was ending my veganism that I wasn't enjoying my food anymore. And so no longer being vegan has really helped me just be in a healthier headspace and just feel free. My body operates so much better on a higher protein diet. I'm not one of those carnivore diet people. I think that anything like that, it's too much. I think we need just eat vegetables, meat for those that choose to eat meat, fruits, eat real whole foods. If you get really in tune with yourself and eat intuitively what makes you feel good, I think eating for balanced blood sugar is one of the most important things, and that's something that I was doing in the past, and that's something that makes such a huge difference and affects so much. For balanced blood sugar affects your hormones so much, your energy levels, your mood, impacts how much weight you gain or lose because excess glucose in the blood stores it in muscles. So the more that you have muscles, the more glucose storage you have. But if you are not exercising regularly and strengthening your muscles, then you're gonna have less muscle storage, and so it starts storing it in fat cells. Focusing on these things that are gonna make such a bigger improvement on how you feel. Anyways, that is my 2 cents on the subject. If there's anything that you are curious about with my journey, there's probably a lot that I haven't said that I just haven't thought of. If you have any questions, definitely feel free to let me know in the comments.